What's going on, everybody? My name is Mike Fernandez. I am a realtor and a real estate investor here in St. Bernard Parish, Louisiana. And I wanted to start putting some videos out there just to kind of help show people the behind the scenes of real estate investing, understand how powerful it is, why it's an investment vehicle that I recommend to everybody that I talk to. So, like I said, I just want to help. I want to put the word out there of how powerful this can be and how, in my opinion, there's no better investment vehicle to help the average everyday American, the working class American like myself, like many of you guys, to become wealthy and achieve financial freedom than real estate. There's no better vehicle in my opinion. So I'm not selling anything. There is no book. There is no course. There is no um, subscription fee. I'm not going to ask you for any money. I genuinely just want to help people achieve financial freedom, achieve wealth, and help out. So, like I said, I'm a realtor. If you like what you hear and want to use me as your realtor, as your agent, fantastic. That's great. Let's do something. If not, if you have a realtor that you know and trust, that's cool too. Like I said, I just want to help. So today I wanted to take a step back, go kind of high level, and talk about what are the benefits of real estate investing. Why would you choose real estate investing over any other investment vehicle? Why real estate? Why not stocks, Mike? Why not Bitcoin? Why not bonds? Why not, the thousand other different investments that you could do? MLM schemes, right? Pyramid schemes. But in my opinion, real estate investing is, like I said, the best vehicle to get a middle class person to financial freedom. And we're going to talk about the five main benefits of real estate investing. So I'll share my screen here and we can go ahead and jump into it to what those five things are. So, why real estate? Why invest in real estate? Number one, cash flow. So, cash flow is your rental income minus all of your expenses. That is the money that you take home on, we'll call it profit in a sense, right? So I have here in my fancy little calculator a sample duplex. So 1,600 square feet. We're buying it for $150,000. We're putting 20% down. Now I'm going to do another video probably this weekend talking about ways that you can get started investing in real estate without $33,000, right? If you're just starting out, you don't have that kind of money. How can I get in? So I'm going to post that one here this weekend. But for this sake, let's say it's a pure investment. You're not living in it, no creative financing, nothing like that. You're just putting the full 20% down. Let's see. We're going to assume that you're getting 800 a month per side for this duplex, so 1,600 a month total. So when we look at our mortgage payment of our total payment of $800 a month, roughly, 241 of that's going to be taxes. 555 is going to be the actual P&I. So we are going to be left after the mortgage, after setting money aside for repairs, vacancy, and capex, and after paying a property manager, we are going to be looking at $242 per month in cash flow. So annually, that is $2,911. So every year you get $2,911. Now, the cool thing about real estate is that time works on your side. Time works on your side, and so we'll get to this at the very end. But every single year, this number, this 1,600 a month in rent, is going to go up. Let's say 2 to 3%. However, your monthly payment is going to stay exactly the same. So the longer you own this income producing property, the more this is going to grow every single year, and we'll get to that in a second. So, reason number one, cash flow. Reason number two, appreciation. Appreciation is the amount that your home grows in value, or your investment grows in value from one year to the next. Now, big asterisk caveat, right? The average home appreciation, the average real estate appreciation from 1951 to today, the average is 3.9%. So that's generally the number that I plug in. Last year, we saw astronomical numbers. If you look here, we saw 9.2%, and then homeowners saw an increase in 16% year over year in their equity last year. So last year was an anomaly. It was very high. There might be a year, a couple years from now, 5 years from now, where it's negative or where it's flat. We don't appreciate any. But historically, on average, it's 3.9. Okay. So don't call me a year from now and say, Mike, I bought this $150,000 duplex and it's only worth $151,000. It didn't appreciate the 4% you said it would. Again, average, right? So when we're looking at, appreciation, we're looking at the amount that it grows in value every single year, right? So if we have our $150,000 duplex, and again, we'll assume you didn't negotiate at all, you didn't talk the person down, you paid $150,000 for a $150,000 duplex, right? There was no, you didn't get it at a good deal, there was no added benefit. You paid exactly retail price, which is fine. 3.9% appreciation. In 1 year, you'll have gained almost $6,000 in value. Now, another asterisk here, right, is this isn't cash in your pocket. You don't get a check for $6,000 at the end of the year, but it is building your wealth, right? Your net worth by that much. So after, let's say, 5 years of the same average appreciation, it's now worth $181,622. You see where this is going. 10 years, 219, 20 years, 322, and 30 years, 472, right? Now, so this is going up every single year. Again, it's not always going to be exactly the same, right? But you get the idea. Every single year you're holding on to this, it's going up in value. So that is benefit number 2. Number 3 is mortgage pay down. Every year that you hold this, you're going to be paying, let's say, 12 mortgage payments, assuming you take out a mortgage. Your tenants are paying $1,600. $800 of that is going to go to this mortgage. So in a sense, your tenants, not you, are paying that mortgage for you. You could have vacancy and stuff generally, right? Let's assume things go the way they the way they normally do, right? Your tenants, in a sense, are going to be paying down this mortgage. Of that 800, a small sliver of it every single month is going to go down to the amount you owe. So not only do we have appreciation where your property is going up in value, we also have mortgage pay down where the amount you owe is going down because someone else, not you, is paying for it. So for mortgage pay down, that you could probably put it in Excel. The easiest thing for me is just to pull up this mortgage calculator. On any of the online websites are fine. So if we're wanting to look at year 1, right, 12 months in, we will owe $117,600 versus the 120 that we started with. So we'll say, what is that? $2,400 in addition to the $2,900 in cash flow, in addition to the roughly $6,000 in appreciation. Now we have this $2,400 that we owe less than when we started. So that's benefit number 3. Someone else is paying the mortgage off for you. So 30 years from now, that $120,000 mortgage is going to be gone. And on paper, if things go the way they should, or if nothing disastrous happens, you won't have paid a dollar towards that mortgage. Number 4, tax benefits. So I will preface this with that I am not an accountant. Don't come to me for tax advice. This is high level, broad strokes, right? Here are some of the biggest things that you can write off with an income producing property. Now, this doesn't apply to your personal home where you live. If your AC breaks, you can't write that off as a repair, right? Again, talk to your tax guy. But at a high level, you can write off repairs, you can write off depreciation. And what depreciation is, the government tells you, the US government says, hey, look, we understand things break, things go wrong. So we will give you a certain amount every year that just by owning this place that you can write off on your taxes. The way they figure out what that is you figure out what is the structure of the property, so not the land, which is usually like a simplified version is, let's say, 80%. But if you really want to know, you can go on the assessor's website or go to the assessor's office, pull out exactly how much the land is worth versus the structure, right? So you take that amount, and let's say for this one, let's just say it is 80% of the structure, 20% is the land. We have our $120,000. And of that, they say you divide that price by 27.5 years. that divided by 27.5 is this number here. $4,363 is how much you can deduct every single year from your taxes, from the income it produces. You can also write off the mortgage interest. So remember, your tenants are paying that mortgage payment every single month, right? Most of that is interest. So the money that you are paying from the tenant to you to the bank, you can then turn around and write it off. So in theory, it's something you, in a way, didn't even pay, but you still get it as a tax benefit. Taxes and insurance, you can write that off. Management fees, if you have a property manager, you can write that off as well. Again, I'll bookend this with I'm not an accountant. Don't go based on this. Talk to an accountant. We're just talking high level about the benefits. And tax benefits are very much a big part. Number 5, and to me, this is the most important one. It's to me what differentiates real estate versus every other investment vehicle out there is leverage. You can leverage real estate. You can take $1 and use it as 4, where you can't do that in any other that I know of, any other investment vehicle. So let's say you wanted to buy a stock and you called Charles Schwab and said, "Hey, look, I want to invest in Tesla. I want to give you the money for, let's say, 50 shares, but I want you to give me the benefit of 200 shares." They're going to laugh at you. They're going to hang up, right? It's not possible. It's not how it works. With real estate, you can do that. Look, we're putting $30,000 down, 20%, right? So we're paying 20% of our own money for this asset, yet we get 100% of the benefit. We only owe 20%, but we get 100% of the benefit. When it comes to all these other things, cash flow, appreciation, mortgage paydown, tax benefits, we own, in this case, 20%, a small share of that property, yet we get 100% of the benefit of all 4 of these things. The bank doesn't say, "Hey, look, man, I own 80% of this property, so you need to give me 80% of this cash flow every year." No, they want their mortgage payment and that's it. Appreciation, the place could go up in value by 200% over the next 4 years, and the bank is not changing how much you owe them. Or if it, I mean, it is, but it's going down based on the amortization, right? But they're not going to say, "Hey, look, that place that you paid 150 for is now worth 400. Cut us in on that. We get 80% of that." Doesn't happen. Mortgage paydown, we talked about. Tax benefits, you get 100% of those benefits, even though you only own technically 20%, because you own the full thing, even though you're only putting 20% down. So to me, this is the most incredible part of real estate is that you can leverage it, right? There's not too many things in life that you can leverage. You can't leverage time. You only get so many hours, but you can leverage your money when it comes to real estate. So let's show what does that actually mean. So we talked about 20% down, what that means and how much we're getting in cash flow and all, right? So let's look at the actual return on investment numbers. So your cash on cash return on investment means here's how much you put up and here's how much profit you made in cash flow that year compared to how much you put up in cash, right? So we know we put up 33,500 roughly dollars at the beginning, and at the end, that first year, we made, let's say, almost $3,000. That's only 8.68%. You could probably beat that in the stock market, right? Maybe not every year, but there's a good chance you can beat that in the stock market on a given year. Certainly this past year. So 8% isn't much to kick rocks at. But when we add in everything else, that mortgage pay down that you're not paying, that's another 7% you can see here that we're adding onto our cash on cash. Appreciation, even if it's only appreciating 4%, that doesn't mean we add 4% here, because remember, we only paid 20,000. The entire property, the entire 150 is appreciating by 4%, but we only put up 35. So that means our return on investment for that cash is going to grow significantly higher than 4%. In this case, almost 18%. So after all said and done, you're talking in that first year, on average, based on the things we talked about here, and it's not guaranteed, of course, right? But we're talking a 33%, almost a 34% return on investment. That's incredible. You're not going to get that anywhere else, right? Yeah, maybe somebody who bought Tesla back in 2012 has some astronomical returns, but on average, you're just not going to get it, right? And we're not doing anything crazy. We're not manipulating numbers. We're not talking about some inside deal where we got a good deal in this place. We bought it off the MLS for the value it was currently at. We didn't even get a great deal in this place. And we put the full 20% down. So let's say, just to play devil's advocate here, let's say that instead of 30%, you did this as an owner occupied investment property. So that means you used an FHA loan and put 3.5% down instead of 20, 3.5% down, lived in one unit, rented the other, then you moved out and rented both. But now you still have the same loan, same payment, same term, same everything, right? It's completely legal. People do it all the time. So instead of 0.2, we're going to say 0.035. So that brings our all-in cost. The check you have to bring, the amount of a check you have to bring to closing is less than $9,000, right? So now you're going to owe more. You have less equity. You're going to owe more. Look, your mortgage payment went up by over $100, right? And that's fine. So you're still making, let's say this is after year one, after you've moved out and you're now renting both sides out. You're still making the same 1,600. So look, our cash flow went down. That's okay, right? Because we have less money tied up in the deal. We're borrowing more money, so it just makes sense. But that's fine. So now we're only making 127, 128 a month, which brings our annual cash flow down. But let's look at those return on investment. This is where real estate to me gets exciting, where leverage comes in. So now, because we only have 9,000 in, our cash on cash return on investment, even though it's lower, is up to 17%. That is only the amount of cash you collect compared to the amount of cash you put up front. 17%. Our mortgage paydown, cash on cash return on investment, is 27%. Appreciation, 68% cash on cash return, which brings our total cash on cash return, if you include all that, which again, it's not all in your pocket, right? But let's say added to your net worth, is 113% return on investment. There's just nowhere else you're going to get that. And I think, to me, where real estate, the first year is awesome, right? You look at these return on investment numbers, it's great. But to me, where it really comes in, where the rubber really meets the road and where it really gets exciting, is these projections right here. So we have 5-year cash flow projection. I kind of alluded to this earlier. So 5 years from now, instead of making, so let me go back for a second and say we're going back to the 20% model. So you now have 20% down. You didn't live in it, purely an investment, right? So 5 years from now, instead of making $2,900 a year, you are profiting $12,700 per month. Because remember, that rent is going to go up, let's say 3% every single year, but your monthly payment, this $797, that's not changing unless you refinance. So that's a whole different thing. If you don't change the loan, refinance, or make any decisions, it stays the same. So now, instead of making, like I said, $2,900 a year, you're making $12,000 a year. Your equity position, when you start day one, whatever money you put down is the equity you have. Because again, we're assuming we bought it at the value that it's worth. We didn't get it for a deal, right? So 5 years from then, you go from $20,000 to $74,500, just based off of average appreciation. And then your total 5-year benefit, if you were to take that money, put it in a bank account, then sell it on the mark at 5 years and keep that money as well. Now, look, this isn't taking in account, you're going to have realtor fees. You're going to have, it is. Yeah, so it's not taking into account realtor fees or anything like that, or taxes that you're going to have to pay. So it's somewhat of a simplified, but you get the point. $113,000 total benefit by the time, if you sell at 5 years, right? Let's say you kept it beyond there to 10 years. At 10 years, if you don't refinance, don't change the loan, don't change the terms, you're looking at $16,000 in annual income from a passive investment. It's incredible. You can't get this anywhere else. And it's something that you put $33,550 into it, right? 10-year equity position, $150,000. So your total benefit at 10 years is almost $200,000. And that's the power of real estate, right? Leverage plus time. It's incredible. And so let's circle back to our FHA, where we where you lived in it, right? You lived in it for that first year, then rented it out. Your return on investment numbers are staggering down here, even when you get long term. Now, they're not as high because you didn't start with money, but the power of leverage is, and this is again why I love real estate so much. If you had that $30,000, you could put it all down into this one and make this number one time, right? Or you could move into one, live in it for a year, move out, rinse and repeat. So that same $30,000 could get you three of this exact same duplex. 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road, you see what that turns into, right? So it's unbelievable to me. Real estate investing it's almost a cheat code to wealth. So I hope this was beneficial. I got sidetracked a little bit, but I get excited about it. But those are the five, in my opinion, the main benefits of real estate investing: cash flow, appreciation, mortgage pay down, tax benefits, and then leverage. So I hope this was beneficial. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me stop sharing. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope it was beneficial. I hope you took even just one new thing away. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out anytime. I'm always happy to meet up. We can talk, chat on the phone, do a Zoom call like this. But thanks for tuning in. I appreciate your time. Y'all have a great day.